Core Behavior Skills. My name is Carlos, and I am a board certified behavior analyst. In this video, we're just going to be talking about picky eaters, special needs, children that are, by definition, picky eaters. They prefer one type of food to eat as their main course all the time, or maybe they have two or three. They will not accept any other types of foods. All the dangers with a picky eater, it all depends on the type of foods that they are consuming. And a lot of the foods, we have to be mindful of what it is, because some of them are silent killers, meaning that right now, since they're young, they're energetic, hopefully, you don't see a problem with them consuming processed foods, like maybe some French fries, delicious chocolate chip cookies, chicken nuggets, foods cooked in vegetable oils that are fried, processed foods that they prefer just one type of brand, or maybe they really like to eat ice cream. And I understand special needs, you're desperate. You just want your child to consume a variety of foods that's not ice cream, but that's the only thing that they're consuming. And you're basically thinking, it doesn't even eat anything else. I don't want my child to go hungry. I understand. But with behavior modification, that can be improved on and it can be changed. Because if they're eating fried foods, foods cooked in vegetable oils, processed foods, sugars, things that are not healthy for you, when they're young, you may not see any side effects, but as they grow older, as they become adults, that's where things start coming in and kicking in. That's where the impact comes in. And a lot of those things could have been prevented when they were at a younger age, just by shaping and modifying their behaviors. And ideally, look, I understand. I'm sure that a lot of children had like a whole box of chocolate chip cookies and they got away with it and they were delicious. I'm not gonna lie, I did it myself. But yes, they are delicious. You just wanna control them. You wanna control any of the yummy stuff. It's okay if they have a candy. It's okay if they have fried chicken every now and then as children. But eating chips every day, eating cookies every day, eating candy every day as a main source of nutrition, horrible thing. You don't want that. You want to transform your child that's a picky eater to consume a variety of foods that are healthy, so that once they get older, they will not have any health complications that could impact their well-being, that could affect their cholesterol, their blood sugar levels, and God knows what other complication comes from consuming foods in large quantity that are processed, cooked in vegetable oils. You don't want that. So long term, you want to start teaching them to consume healthier foods. Any questions?
How would one do so?
Well, for that, we have to begin doing modification and introducing other food varieties to get access to what they prefer. And if they do what they need to eat, for example, let's say you want them to eat home-cooked meals. Well, if you want to have your McDonald's afterwards, you're going to have to eat one spoonful of home-cooked meal, whatever it is. And then little by little, we begin increasing that and we get to what we want. But before any of that, I always recommend to do an ecological assessment, a functional behavior assessment, things that we do for special needs to determine all the factors, all the ecological variables, things in the environment that are maintaining the behavior. Because if not, telling you right now what we're going to do is really not going to work until we identify all of those obstacles. For example, if you want your child to eat less fried chicken and every day is eating fried chicken, well, someone's bringing the fried chicken. What can we do to modify that? Well, we can start fading away fried chicken and bringing in something else. You also have to make sure that your child doesn't have access to other things that are maintaining that behavior, which could be sodas, chips, fries, candies. Because if he's feeding himself and getting satiated with all the other stuff. When you bring them a healthy meal, they're already full. They're not gonna want to eat it, and they're not gonna eat it. So you gotta identify all those factors that are maintaining a picky eater. Once they're identified through the assessments and we understand the function and what we need to finally understand as parents to help the child best, we can start to see that behavior change that we need so that long term your child is healthy as an adult.
Long term, what would you say is some of the biggest consequences?
Yes. Special needs is typically very hard when they're young just to get them started on services because insurance makes it difficult saying, oh, this provider that can provide services is not in our network. Then you also have Medicaid. If they're not on private insurance, you have Medicaid going like, well, this doesn't seem like medical necessity. And then they have the parents do like a whole loop around and they make it difficult to get services and high quality services. They all make it difficult and they're all saying we're protecting the integrity of the funding source. There's a lot of BS, a lot of drama in that, but you want to do what's right for your child. Special needs, they already have their problems. Long term is when the other things come in. So if you don't correct what's down here, that it could be a picky eater, it could have some problem behaviors that are really dangerous, and then some minor problem behaviors. But now they're carrying all of that up here. So now, one, when they go to the doctor, they don't want to get shot. What were they doing as little children? When they saw the doctor, they ran away. They don't want to be injected. They don't want to have blood drawn out. That hurts. That's scary, going to the doctor. Now they're an adult still with a child mentality. So it's very difficult to get them the care that they need. But if you intervene when they're young and early and you start changing and improving their behaviors, then you can prevent all the bad things that come in later that can also be just as dangerous when they were young. And you don't want that when they're adults because now you have another medical bill. When they were young, there's a little bit of compassion. And remember, insurance does not want to pay. They want to collect, they don't want to pay out. They're more like, feed me. We're good. But there's a little bit of compassion for a child. But once they become adults, it's like, sorry, bud, you're on your own. That's a lifestyle choice you made. You could have been eating healthy meals, but you chose to eat the bad stuff. Your problem, not mine, not my taxpayers' money. So with that type of mentality, when you're an adult, no one's really gonna care as much as for a little child. There's still gonna be some of that compassion. You know what? Maybe he shouldn't be eating that. Maybe he should do this. Maybe he should do that. And I understand that people are very judgmental, but we wanna do what's best for the child so that they are not always consuming this stuff. That they're having a variety and they're also consuming healthy meals along the way. Because you also have to kind of have what's going to happen the day of tomorrow when I'm no longer around.
Do you have an example of a picky eater that you've helped?
Oh, I have quite a few. So, just to give a detail on it. Oh boy, this is such a beautiful drawing. Let me see. It hurts to erase the deliciousness. So I understand parents are desperate, and this is just one example of child that I helped in the past. So at the very beginning with this kiddo, he only consumed sugars, which was ice cream, cookies, candy. He didn't do this. Nope, that was not in his meal. Fried foods, we can scratch that out. We can scratch that out. Processed foods, yes, candy, that's processed. Sugars, yay, that's what he was mainly consuming. and it was a battle, and parents are worried. They were really worried, so started to help them, and we started to introduce tactics to help the child to consume, instead of sugars, begin consuming something healthy. And I'm just gonna put an H here for healthy. This is the goal. So sugar consumption slowly started going down, and it just little by little until he was here. He still had access to a couple of sugars, but overall, from pure sugars to something more healthy, this was just a great intervention that we did. And we identified all the variables in the environment that were maintaining the behavior. And we started planning ahead of time to make sure that this was limited as much as possible to make this smooth transition over here. Were there tantrums along the way? Absolutely. Absolutely. Was it a difficult journey? Yes. But overall, this here was the best thing that was done for this child. Because now that this child has grown up, guess what? He can still have some sugars, and then he mainly eats normal meals that the family cooks. And healthy kid.